shift from focusing on the villain to focusing on the hero. Now, what this means is every man you can have a certain view of. You can either see him as a villain for you, or you can see him as a hero for you. Now, here's the thing. How you see a man will often affect how you treat a man and how you react and respond to him. And if you treat him like a villain, a man is going to respond in a certain way, likely continuing to treat you like a villain, to be critical, to be hurtful, to be pulling away, to not be being a good partner for you. However, if you start seeing a man or seeing your man as a hero, what if he could be your superhero? Oftentimes, he's going to start behaving and living into that identity of becoming your hero. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy often. How you see men and how you see a man or your man, he will tend to become that way because men tend to want to live up to your expectations. The fundamental drive from the masculine energy is to be of service, of value, and to want to make his woman happy and the people around him happier, that he is providing some sort of purpose in his life to others. He's making a difference. It's the big reason why men will often go to war, or they will build empires, or they will take on really tough jobs, is because they want to make their family happy. They want to make their woman happy. They want to provide. They want to protect. And every man wants to be a hero. It's the same reason why so many men are watching superhero movies when they grow up and reading comic books and playing video games, etc., because they have this longing inside of their masculine core, their instinct to be that for somebody. So if you can start seeing him as your hero and in fact as your superhero, how would you respond to him differently? What kind of questions would you ask him? How would you interact with him? What kind of communication would you use? That you assume, if you assumed that you knew he wanted to help you, that you knew that he wanted to provide for you and make you happy in some way. You would probably be more appreciative. You'd be asking him for help. You'd be open. You'd be vulnerable. You would be admiring him. You would be looking at the things that he does for others and for you and in the world that you respect. And that would shift his energy towards you dramatically and make him want to be that more and more for you and have an incredible relationship. So, hi, I'm Brody Boyd with Magnetize Your Man, and this was the first feminine shift to help you to attract a loving, long-term, and committed relationship with a man you want. And we've been doing this for over 20 years combined. I have with my wife, Antia. So I'm very excited to continue diving in with the 7 powerful shifts that make a man desire you. So, number 6, powerful feminine shift that radiates feminine energy and brings men close is to shift from being assertive to permissive. Now, an assertive woman is often putting herself out there. She is going for what she wants. She is commanding what she wants. She is making things happen, which sounds great on the surface. However, if you dig a little deeper, you'll find out that energetically, this is actually masculine energy. Masculine energy is whenever you are trying to get an outcome and control and make things happen and lead. That is masculine energy, and that is fine if you want to attract a feminine man, or if you want to have more of a neutral type of relationship, like a business partnership or a friendship. But if you want a deeply passionate, romantic relationship with a man, we want to create that masculine-feminine polarity, because that's the only thing that's going to create that long-term attraction, chemistry, passion in a relationship. And the way you do that is by shifting into your feminine energy, where you can actually get everything that you want and desire from a man without having to make it happen, without having to chase him or work for it or try to put yourself out there, put him in his place, or things like that, where you are energetically penetrating him or energetically leading and commanding a man and making him feel like a little child and creating a mommy-child dynamic. So, one powerful shift you can make to move into your feminine, one of the most powerful shifts you can do that's fairly easy, is to shift from being assertive to being permissive. Now, what is permissive? Permissive is actually very similar to assertiveness. It's just a little softer. So permissiveness is, rather than assertiveness, where you put yourself out there, you make it happen, you go for it, you initiate, you chase, you pursue. Permissiveness is where you instead are requesting. You are instead putting your hand open like in a dance where you say, I would like to dance with you. Would you like to dance with me? And the man can grab your hand and he will lead you on the dance floor then, and you can have this amazing, beautiful ballroom dance, or the dance of your relationship, amazing polarized relationship. So being permissive is asking permission. It is making a request. It is asking a man for things and asking him for help so that he can help you and he can give to you, rather than you giving to him and him receiving, which would be you in the masculine and him in the feminine. If you want him to be in his healthy masculine and feel desire and devotion for you, you want to be in your healthy feminine, which means allowing him to give to you and receiving, which means asking for what you want. It means making requests. Permissiveness, asking permission. So you can do this in various ways. One of the easy ways is to simply ask whenever you want something from him, whether that's his attention, whether that's his action of some kind, of his help, his advice, his love, his attention. There's a lot of things. I already mentioned attention, but there's a lot of things you can ask for a man. There's almost endless things you can ask. But you ask permission first rather than penetrating him and telling him what to do. So for example, you would say something like, can I share something with you? Rather than just sharing it, rather than just telling him something. You make sure that he's energetically in a place where he can give you his attention and listen and provide in that way, even in a very small way, so that he can then lead the interaction himself from his masculine and say yes and want to hear more and make sure he's available for that. And of course, there's situations where a man may not be available to give you what you ask for, and then you want to respect his boundaries. But by you being permissive and asking permission first, you show him that respect. You show him, you allow that respect for his boundaries, respect for his masculine energy, respect for his leadership, and that you're not going to just penetrate him and demand it and take it from him. Because a woman who really values herself believes that she is worthy of having her requests met, that she is worthy of having her desires provided for by a man, and so she's okay with asking for it. And that's different than being passive. We have assertive, permissive, and passive. And passive is when you don't say anything and you don't speak up and you just shove it under the rug and pretend it's all good when it's not. And that's what we call being the doormat archetype. So some more examples: asking him for a phone call. Can I ask if we can talk on the phone? Or can I ask if we can meet in person? Or may I ask for some help with something? Or could I ask you for your advice with something I'm dealing with? Or can I share a problem that I'm having with you? Or can I share a feeling that's coming up for me? Or would it be okay with you if I stopped by to see you today since I'm in the area? Or would it be okay with you if I asked for your care right now, or your clarity, or your love, or can I have a hug? So you're asking for it. You're asking permission first before you just take it from him, because that would be masculine energy, and that would also show that you're a low value, low worth woman who doesn't believe that her requests are worth being met, so she feels like she has to take it for herself and claim it and force it from him and try to make things happen and get that outcome, which would all be masculine energy, and put him into the feminine and create a mother-child dynamic ultimately, which will lose attraction and cause the man to pull away. Now, the fifth feminine shift is to shift from being entitled to being receptive and grateful. Now, what this means is if you feel entitled to a man's energy, which this is, by the way, similar to what we just talked about, if you feel entitled to his love, if you feel entitled to his adoration of you, if you feel entitled to his gifts and to his acts of service, or to his care and devotion, then that's going to cause a man to feel disrespected ultimately, because it shows that you're not really valuing him, and you're not also really valuing yourself, because you feel like you need to, that you deserve it, that you own him, that he is your toy, that he is your boy toy, you might say, or your man toy, or just your slave, and that he should give you anything you want at any times. So you're just going to simply command it, and you're going to take it. And instead of feeling entitled to what your man has to provide, and that you must have it, and that you deserve it, and that he should give you anything you want at any time, you're shifting instead into being receptive and grateful and really respectful as well. That's a huge feminine shift. So what that means is, going back to what we just shared with permissiveness, it means asking for permission, but it also means sharing gratitude and sharing appreciation when a man does give you what you want. So if you do use what we just taught you with being permissive, and you ask for something from him, and then he gives it to you, whether that's his attention, whether that's a gift of some kind, his help, his protection, his provision in some way, you want to share that gratitude. You want to show him with your body, your voice, your heart, your mind, your soul that you are grateful and appreciative for him as a man, for his masculine energy, for his abilities to lead and give to you and make you happy and wanting to make you happy. And that will show him and allow him to feel that you don't feel entitled to what he has to give you, that you're not trying to grab it from him, and that you're not devaluing him and yourself by that entitlement, but instead you realize and you are aware that it is a gift he is giving you and that you are grateful for it and that you appreciate it. Because what's going to happen with that, it's a subtle shift we're talking about here, but what's going to happen is it's going to allow him to feel really good providing that for you, because he doesn't feel like he's being told what to do, or that you're commanding it of him, or that you're even overly expecting that of him. Because anytime you're in expectation, that is also masculine energy, as opposed to detached from the outcome, which is feminine energy. So what you're doing here is you're being vulnerable, you're being open, you're being permissive, you're being respectful and receptive and grateful, and that allows him to feel like he's able to provide from his own masculine energy coming from within himself, inspired from his core, giving to you, and he gets to do it of his own free will, and it gets to feel really good and empowering to him to want to give more to you, because it doesn't feel like it's something that you expect from him or that you feel entitled to. And I know this is a tricky one, because you may be saying to yourself right now, well, I've been married to him for 10 years, or we've been together for so long, and I've done all these things for him. Why shouldn't I be entitled to expect this X, Y, and Z from him? Like, he owes me this. Well, that may be true. You might have done a lot for him, and probably from masculine energy, giving to him and him receiving, which is the reverse polarity. And so you might feel that he owes you that. But the idea here is that if you truly live from that place with him in the relationship, he's going to feel like it's an obligation to give to you and to love you and to adore you, rather than a prize for him, a gift for him, that he wants to do it, that he is excited to provide for you. He's excited to make you happy. So one thought experiment for this that you can think about, it would be the opposite of you saying that you are not going, that a man is entitled to you respecting and trusting him. So imagine if there was a man you were in a relationship with, and when you're in the relationship, he's like, well, you have to respect me. You need to trust me. Like I'm entitled to you trusting me, even though he's doing a lot of things that aren't really trustworthy, or that aren't really commanding your respect. He's actually being disrespectful, and he's not respectable as a man. And then he's saying, well, you owe that to me. You have to trust me because you're my woman. You have to respect me because you're my woman. Well, that's how it feels for a man when you're saying something like, or you're coming across with the energy of, well, you have to love me and you have to adore me because I'm your woman. You have to do it. Well, that's not going to feel good to him, just like the opposite wouldn't feel good to you. So it's a powerful shift that'll bring you into your feminine, allow him to really actually start to love and adore you, because it's coming from his own free will and not feeling like an obligation or an expectation. So before we get to our next point, if you would love to go deeper with this, if you haven't yet, I highly recommend taking our free Magnetize Your Man quiz to get a loving, long-term, and committed relationship with a man you want fast, customized for your situation, by clicking the link in the description or comments below. Or you can also go to our website, magnetizeyourman.com, and you can get that right away, and would highly recommend that if you really want to get the relationship of your dreams and take this seriously. So the next powerful shift to get a loving relationship and to radiate feminine energy is to shift from being attached to being detached. And what this means is masculine energy is all about attachment. It is all about trying to get outcomes. It is all about making things happen and forcing things to happen, even in some ways. It is planning. It is strategy. It is preparation and doing everything possible to make something happen. That is the masculine energy. Now, feminine energy is the opposite of that, which is detached. It is flowing. It is letting things happen. It is trusting God. It is trusting the process, putting the energy into the openness of the process and enjoying yourself in the process and experiencing the process on a deep, rich emotional level, rather than being so focused on the future and the outcome and getting him to do something, or getting the relationship to go to a certain place, or trying to make something happen. That is, again, masculine energy. So if you can shift and make this powerful spiritual shift, really, it's going to draw a man to you, and it's going to create magic in your relationship, because now you're coming from a place of openness, of receptivity, of true vulnerability, and trust in the process. and it's going to allow your man to lead. It's going to create a void and create space that's going to allow your man to want to step into it and want to provide from that place, want to be the leader. Just like if you were on the dance floor and you're just before trying to lead the dance yourself and trying to control him and trying to make him move over here and get him to dance more with you and trying to increase the tempo and the speed of the dance. And then he's getting frustrated and then you're getting frustrated because you have a reverse polarity situation. And then if you just stop and you say, okay, I'm just going to stop trying to control the relationship. I'm just going to let go and let God and trust in the process. Now somebody has to lead, right? Otherwise, nothing will happen. There's not going to be a dance. And sometimes that's a powerful phase you may need to go through with a man where you actually just stop trying to do these things for him. You stop trying to be his mommy. You stop trying to be his therapist. You stop trying to lead the relationship forward yourself and control him and manipulate him and get him to do what you want him to do. And instead you just say, okay, I'm going to let him be. I'm going to let him be his own person because I can't control him anyways. He's going to do whatever he's going to do. And the more I try to control him, it's either going to put him into his feminine and build up resentment over time or cause him to pull away or cause us both to be resentful of each other. So I'm not going to go there. And then you let go. And now he has the opportunity to actually start leading himself, to actually start stepping in and leading the relationship forward himself. And or not, he may not. And that may be the tough realization of this, that you may be with a man that's not capable of being in his masculine or he's broken in some way. But likely if you use what we teach you with magnetic feminine polarity, magnetic feminine communication, and doing our magnetic feminine 90-day challenge, you give it a period of time, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and share your feelings along the journey with him, which will teach you how to do, and exactly what to say and what to communicate with him to get this to happen. Your man is going to start being more and more inspired to want to step into that leadership, to want to lead the relationship forward, to invest, to make you happy, to create experiences for you both. And it's going to become really magical. But in order to do that, you have to move into your feminine and get to that place of detachment and letting go so that he can actually step in and start making things happen on his own. So it's a very powerful shift. The third powerful shift is the shift from giving to receiving. Giving is masculine energy. Anytime you're providing, you are trying to make him happy. You are trying to meet his needs. You're trying to give him something, gifts, acts of service, love, adoration, sex, physical pleasure, etc. You are giving him masculine energy, really, what you're doing. And that's putting him into the feminine energy where now he has to receive. He's receiving your gifts. He's the openness. He's like the available open vagina, to use a sexual analogy, and you are like the penetrating, giving, penis, we'll say. I don't know if there's a more polite way to say that. So anyways, that will be you actually taking the masculine role and you're giving to him, you're providing, you're trying to make him happy. It's like you're humping him and he's having to just take it and receive it instead of him being the provider, giving to you, making you happy, trying to anticipate your needs and making sure you're protected and healthy and enjoying the relationship, etc., just like in a dance. That's the healthy masculine role. So what I'm saying here doesn't mean you can't ever give to a man and you can't do anything to make him happy. But the key is to go back to what we were saying earlier, to come from a place of receptivity and permissiveness where you're instead asking for if he even wants those things. So for example, if you notice your man isn't feeling well and he had a tough day at work, he seems a little down and you feel like you want to cheer him up, you could say, "Hey babe, would you like me to give you a massage?" That's the easy one. You can just simply ask for if he wants that or not, instead of just going up to him and start giving him a massage and making him some soup and preparing his favorite football game. Now you're starting to treat him like a child, like, "Okay, dear, let me just get all these things for you. Let me fix this for you. Let me go contact your boss and give him a piece of my mind. Oh, he can't treat you that way. That's not good. Like, I'm your mommy. I'm going to protect you and I'm going to make sure you're happy." Now that's shifting the polarity. So you can ask and make sure he's available to it. Because sometimes a man may not want your gifts. He may not want your help with something. But if you ask, you give him that chance to say, "No, babe, I'm good." And then you want to respect his boundaries. Like, for example, for me, and I believe a lot of men, I don't enjoy receiving gifts. For birthdays, for holidays, like I don't want it. I don't care. If there's something I really need or want for my life or to do something, I'm going to get it myself. And I would rather be giving other people gifts. I would rather see my children, my wife happy and enjoying those moments than having them provide it to me, because I'm connected to my masculine instinct, and it's just the way I've always been also. But most men who are connected to their masculine instinct, it's going to be the same way. They don't really care about gifts. They don't need it. It doesn't do anything for them. What they want to know, and how the masculine feels happiness, is knowing that he's of service, that he has a purpose and a mission in his life, that he's able to provide and be a hero to somebody, even a superhero to somebody, which is ideal. And so you want to give him, instead of giving him a gift, give him the gift of you being in your feminine, being receptive, being open, and asking him for help, presenting him with opportunities and problems that he can fix, that he can solve for you, to invest into you and feel really great at the end of it, that he is a great man. He's a capable man. He's a hero. He fixed it. He solved it. He made you happy. He's a great provider. Now he's going to feel really great from a purpose point of view, and you're going to feel really great because now the polarity is back in balance. So avoid just simply giving to a man. And also, the other caveat I'll add on here is look at your whole relationship. And even if you are asking him permission and you're still giving him things, but he's leading you to do it, he's still leading and saying, yes, I would like that, babe, or yes, can you grab that for me, or could you pick this up? So he's leading you, he's asking for these things. But then you look at the overall relationship and still you're the one giving more to him. You're providing more for him than he is for you. Then you want to look at that and you want to have some tough conversations about that. They don't have to be tough, especially when you use what we teach you with magnetic feminine communication. You can have great conversations with him that allow the relationship to actually recorrect into polarity and allow him to feel devotion for you. But you can't allow that to continue. If you're the one giving, you're in your masculine energy and you need to stop. You need to stop digging and stop the madness. So there's an old saying, if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging. So get out of the hole, stop digging, and instead put yourself back on the queen's throne and remind yourself of your value, that you deserve having a man care for you and want to make you happy and want to give to you and devote himself to you and commit to you. And that's the normal way of things. And that's your inherent value and your worth, and that you can ask for that, and you can ask for help, and you can share your feelings and your vulnerabilities and inspire a man to want to do that on his own, rather than having to make it happen or manipulate him or change him in some way to get him to do what you want. So the second powerful shift is the shift from adoring him to respecting him. The fundamental drive of the feminine is to be adored and loved. The fundamental drive of the masculine is to be respected and trusted. So if you find yourself loving your man and adoring him and trying to, again, make him happy and please him, and in a way sort of coddling him, that's going to be you pushing him again into his feminine energy, and that's going to cause a lot of issues in your relationship, as opposed to respecting him and trusting him, which is what he really wants. A man really wants you to trust and respect him. He doesn't care that much if you love and adore him. He would rather have your trust and respect, because that's going to make him feel more like a healthy masculine man rather than being adored, coddled, loved, and cherished like a little boy. So swap those out. If you may have lots of feelings of love for your man, which is great, you may adore him, you may even worship him in some ways, which is still beautiful. However, what you want to do instead is use that energy to ask yourself, how can I use this energy to show him how much I trust and respect him? If you really want him to feel your love, show him your trust and respect. Now, the way this works for men is the opposite. So if a man was simply respecting you and trusting you, and that's it, you probably wouldn't be very happy. In fact, you would probably feel devalued at some point if he's just respecting you and talking about all of your accomplishments and how great you are at this and how much he admires you and how great of a leader you are and how powerful you are and how strong you are, and that he trusts you fully to handle everything in the relationship, and it's great, and you got it, babe. Like, yes, I'll let you take care of it, do everything for us. You do such a great job. Just handle all of our finances, handle everything around the house. Like, I trust you, babe. You got this. Like, it's nice, but at some level, it's going to feel like, well, why am I here? I don't feel like a woman in this relationship. He trusts and respects me, but he could also trust and respect his buddies. He could also trust and respect his colleagues and his boss. I don't want to just be trusted and respected. I want to be adored and cherished. So if you want a man to truly adore and cherish you and love you unconditionally and treat you like a princess and like his queen and do everything he can to make you happy and want to provide for you and show you that love every day and that care and that support, then you want him to shift that as well. You want him to shift from trusting and respecting you to loving and adoring you, and you want to shift from loving and adoring him to trusting and respecting him. It's a very powerful shift, and this is one of the most powerful shifts you can make to create chemistry and polarity and passion and bring that back into your relationship so you can allow him to actually feel what he really wants. And you may have to do it for a while, even if you feel like he doesn't deserve it, or if you feel like it's tough for you to give him that unconditional trust and respect, and showing him how much you trust him and how much you respect him as a man and value him, and how great he is in the different ways that he is. Simply through sharing appreciation or actually sharing some of these things directly. But then what you'll find is that if you do that for a certain period of time, using our 90-day challenge, so our Magnetize Your Man 90-day challenge that we have, then he's going to start shifting to loving and adoring you more, because the polarity is now in alignment. The law of the universe is opposite energies attract. Masculine energy attracts feminine energy through the law of polarity, and he's going to start naturally stepping into that and wanting to make you happy. And so, that's a very powerful shift you can make with your man that will cause immense benefits between the two of you once you've actually done it and done it consistently. Now, the number one shift to radiate magnetic feminine energy is to shift from sharing solutions to sharing problems. So oftentimes you may want to help your man. You may want to give him solutions for things that he's struggling with, things that he's brought up to you, perhaps things that you know he's dealing with, whether that's an addiction of some kind, or a bad habit, or bad eating habits, or health habits, or he's struggling in his career in some ways, or with work, or with his finances, or in his family situation. And you may want to give him a lot of solutions and answers to help him, because of course, you know all the answers, you have all the answers, and you're a smart woman, probably. But that thinking is very dangerous, to think that you know better than he does, and that you have the answers that he doesn't, and that you're more capable than he does. Because what's going to happen is it's going to cause you to respect him less, and it's going to cause him to feel less respected and disrespected, which is the ultimate thing that will start pushing a man away in a relationship, is when he feels disrespected. So instead of sharing those brilliant solutions that you may have, which is masculine energy, by the way, we want to shift that into, instead, you sharing your problems and sharing things that you're dealing with and that you're struggling with. And I know this is very counterintuitive, but that's the ultimate shift you can make to inspire him to handle his own stuff, and not only handle his own stuff, but be able to handle your stuff and feel like a hero, feel like a superhero, feel like an amazing man, a powerful man, and feel crazy about you because he's able to do that for you, that you're his woman. You're the princess, like Princess Peach from Super Mario. You're like the Peach that he gets to rescue from the castle and, kill the bad guy, Bowser. You're like, you get to make him into Super Mario or Superman or Batman. You're allowing him to find the best within himself, become the most powerful, capable being that he can be for you and for the relationship. And that happens by shifting from trying to solve his problems and giving him all the answers into actually letting him handle his own stuff and saying things like, I know you got this, babe. I believe in you. I'm here for you. I know you'll figure it out. You're strong. You're capable. And then after that, sharing even some things that you could use help with. Hey, babe, I was wondering if you could help me with something I'm dealing with right now. Is that okay? Or, hey, honey, I have an issue that I'm experiencing at work. I was curious if I could share it with you because I know you have brilliant solutions, and curious if I might be able to hear your advice on it. So things like that, where you're actually approaching him with asking for help, with making requests, with sharing problems that are coming up for you. And we teach all this in our courses and our coaching with Magnetic Feminine Communication, exactly how to have these conversations and how to do it in a way that inspires him and draws him really close. And it can be one of the best things you can do for your relationship, actually. So you're now turning the tables and you are becoming the feminine, magnetic feminine, high value energy, and you're allowing him to become the powerful masculine, high value energy that he is capable of, and being able to help you and give to you and overcome his own stuff. He'll now be inspired because he feels that space. Again, we talked about the space that he can step into to be a stronger man, to be a better man, and he'll naturally want to do that. Men want to be superheroes. They have a natural drive for that. If you just stop trying to solve all of his problems and give him the space to figure it out on his own, and you just providing support and being there and respecting him and trusting him that he'll get it, and then allowing him to start to help you in different ways with your problems, with your feelings, with situations that are coming up for you and requests that you have. Now you can shift back into a healthy dynamic where he's feeling more empowered and getting over all of the things that he was dealing with and wanting to keep providing for you and making you happy. And now you have a healthy dynamic, and you're both going to be feeling great because you're both living from your core essence and feeling maximized in that. So that's a very powerful shift as well. So hope this was helpful today. Again, if you want to go deeper, I highly recommend taking the free quiz to master this. Just like learning a new dance, just like learning a new language, it takes some time, it takes some coaching and some training to get the right support and customization for your specific situation to rescue a relationship or have the man of your dreams. So click the link below to get that. And I look forward to talking to you again on our next trainings very soon. Bye-bye.